All right now. All right now.
And I've had people come, well, the church ought to have it. Well, how much did you give last month? Well, I didn't give nothing. Well, if everybody did that, well, why the church ought to have it when you didn't put any of it there?
Amen.
And aren't you the church?
Well,
Yeah. Right.
Bro Hawk, you know me and Bro Hawk have to talk every service. So you can cut taping off whatever you want to do, me and Hawk talk. Hawk, if you ever come to folk come to you and say, hey man, let me have $20. You say, I ain't got it. Well, you ought to have it. And you turn around and say, well, why don't you have it? Hasn't that happened to you? I don't know why you ain't got it. Same reason you.
Amen.
amen.
No, I have made up my mind. And I love y'all to death. Deacon Duffy, folk can go crazy all they want, but they ain't taking me with them. You want to go crazy by yourself. Because you fool around with crazy folk and you think they saying you. Well, why do you say that, bro? Payne? Well, you hang with folk. Well, I don't know why you go to church anyway. That's insanity. And then they start undermining your reason. Well, it ain't doing you no good.
So we'll say,
Ain't doing me no bad either. You become what you hang around. Huh? If you stay at home with nothing and nobody, know what you become? And that's what Satan wants. He wants you isolated. Every wolf looks for sheep to separate. He takes one at a time. And after a while, he's got the whole flock. We love you. Let's shape up. Let's start being more accountable to God. Not so much to each other. Let's start being more accountable to God. Let's get back to where we used to be in our attendance, faithfulness, in our love. I mean, we're doing well. I'm not saying everything is wrong, but every now and then you can't. One of the reasons that you don't hear me say the Church of Christ is right is because you know what happens. Number one, the principle of the church is right, but the church ain't always right. Number one. Number two, have you ever seen kids? Everything they did was all right. They're the worst little rascals you ever. Have you ever seen? Oh, that's all right. Let them do it. Same thing in the church. If you let folk just do any and everything, after a while you got to miss them. But God can straighten it out. He loves us. So I want us to decide, commit whatever we do to the Lord. Decide today if it's my bad children, if it's my bad husband, if it's my bad wife, if it's my job, whatever it is. Like I said, I can say bad children because I wasn't always a good child. Every child has been a bad child at some point or another. Commit whatever it is to the Lord. Whatever your problem is. Whatever your problem is. I understand. I'm not saying come out here sick and make other folks sick. But I am saying I'm getting older and my hip, I'm starting to get hurt aches in places I didn't even know I had. But if my hip aches on Sunday, I say I can't go to worship. And I have that same hip ache Monday and get up and go to work. But I'm telling you what my priorities are. Because I got the same ache I had Sunday. But it let me do what I wanted to do Monday. Final thought. You know, I always say, if you fool me, it's not so bad. But if I fool me, I'm a fool indeed. Don't fool yourself. Be honest with yourself. If you know your commitment is not what it should be, you ought to decide today. If you want to stand and tell the church, that's up to you. But more importantly, tell God. And then you stick with that. Today forward, I am going to be more committed to the Lord than I was in the past. Because I'm showing that I love other things more than I love God. Because if you just listen to the church of folk, and you get tired of folk. I know I do. I get tired of myself sometimes, but I can't leave me. So Jesus died on the cross. But he said, if you love me more than anything else, it'll pay off. If you love me less than anything else, you'll regret it. So take the love that he gave you, give that love back by believing, and then repenting of your sins, confessing Christ to be the Son of God, put on the word of grace and baptism, become a Christian, nothing more, nothing less. And I guarantee you, this family, and that's why we want you here, because everybody here goes through something. Everybody here is going through something or has gone through something. So when we come together, we ought to see a smiling face, a hand that encourages us. That I got a call last night. I was so glad I got it because it shows the growth of the person, that they're dealing with life differently. And the thing about dealing with life differently is when you start dealing with life differently, that's when the devil gets busy. And he will attack you from folk on the inside. So you got to have some other folk on the inside that can overcome the folk that's attacking you. Then you need to learn how to say I'm sorry. Stay committed. Stay committed. Stay committed. I appreciate this. In spite of all the insanity, in spite she has, one thing I can say, I have never had to doubt her commitment to me. And that makes it all much easier when you know someone is really committed. And once God, watch this, when God really finds out you committed, watch what he'll do for you. Watch what he'll do for you. Show God you really, don't just say it, show him. You say you love, show up when he says show up. It's not going to hurt you, I promise you. It's not going to hurt you to be here 2.5 hours, 3.5 hours. If you think of the time you spend doing other stuff, there's really no excuse why we can't. Football coach used to tell us, come back to the huddle, come back on the field, and I missed my assignment. And he said, well, Payne, why didn't you take that defensive end out? We were running that play. Well, coach, you know what he look at and say, all alibis are lies. Either you did it. So I just learned, don't even man, he don't want to answer when you ask him. But he wants you to understand there is no excuse for why you didn't do your job. And when we stand before God, there's going to be no excuse we can give him for not doing it. Amen. But nearly the thing about it was, being as small as I was then, I wasn't a big old horse like I am now. I was a little bitty guy. And them big old defensive ends and being a halfback and stuff, yeah, they come back and do a chop block on them, come back blindside. And see, the excuse would be, I'm smaller than he is. But that's not an excuse. You know why? Because they've taught you how to use your size. Huh? So it's really no excuses. It's really no excuses. And that's what we got to understand with God. I'm going to stop giving God excuses and giving effort. And once you make an effort, watch what God will do. I've talked to you much longer than I intended to, but this is serious to me. This is serious to me. Let's recommit. And let's get those that are not here to recommit. Because this church is only going to be as good as we are individually. If we want a good church, we got to be better. God bless you.